Hi Luminaires, my name is Jamie Butler and this is June's 2021 Energy Update. I'll be trans-channeling my guide Maitland, who will come through and talk to you about the highs and the lows of the energy movements for June. She'll tell you what chakras are going to be challenged, which chakra is going to be needed, and which one's going to be supported the most. She also likes to give some call to actions, some approaches that you can use for the month of June to help you with the flow of the energy, as well as give you some crystal suggestions to grid your bed to help you with the energy highs and lows of the month. I will say, you might notice I am not in my office. I am out on location, which means that I don't have control over the background sounds. So if you have your headsets on, you might be hearing something in the background. My apologies before we even begin. With no further ado, here's Maitland. Hi everybody, my name is Maitland, and I'm going to give the June's energy update. And this is the first time that we're going public with our energy updates. I've been doing this for a year, working through Jamie, and we've been doing it for the YouTube private memberships. And now they're gonna get other goodies, and we're gonna make the energy updates for free for everybody to view because it's very helpful. And the way that I like to do it is with lots of humor and lots of, they're called metaphors. And so I hope that it makes sense to you, because sometimes I know that when we're watching astrologies and we're watching other modalities, they get very dense and very detailed about what they know, and it's a lot of information coming at you. So I try to make it, the big information, very precise and small, and make it easier to digest. For those of you that I haven't met before, my name is Maitland, M-A-I-T-L-A-N-D. I've been working through Jamie since she was 21, and I am 9 years old. I choose to be 9 years old, and I like that because sometimes when a lot of hard information comes through, if it comes through with a big smile and with a younger voice, it's sometimes easier to hear. So I really enjoy keeping my childlike and youthfulness for all the Luminaires that I work with. Luminaires are people who shine light, and that's who I am, and that's what I like to do. And let's get on with June. Before I talk about June, I want to go back and look at May. Ooh, May. May was intense. May was kind of hard. May was like, if you had any shadows you were hiding, they were gonna come out. And there was a lot of like misleading and some just kind of like, oh, the beginning of the separation. The fork in the road, these people are really aligning with a higher vibration. Higher does not mean better. I'm just using it as descriptions. And these people are resonating with lower vibrations. And as you might guess, lower does not mean worse. But that's just the path they like to take. Just like how you can tell the differences between white and black, which is the absence of color and the presence of all color, you're going to be able to tell the differences between those who are resonating in a higher vibration and those who are resonating in a lower vibration. And this is what they call, a lot of the people, they'll coin the term the ascension or the shift, or it's simple like evolution. And June is the month to really put it on the map. It's like pin the tail on the donkey in the right place. And the reason is June is giving its photonic light to Earth. Earth is being in a position where it hasn't been in over like 12,000 years, where this amount of light is coming in. And light is frequency and it's vibrational. And when that light comes in, and we haven't been bathing in that for a really long time, that all of a sudden it's in abundance. And this frequency, when it's in abundance, we can use it. Just like when you put a plant in the sun, when it hasn't been in the sun in a long time, like it starts to grow towards it, and it just like gets bigger and bigger. When it didn't have a lot of light, it just didn't grow very well. Humans are the same way as plants. They need frequencies and they need light. And now we have this extra light coming to Earth through the galaxies and through the universe and right into the solar system and right to the Earth, that we're going to be saturated in it on Earth, and you're going to grow exponentially. That was a very good word. And with that, when we grow really fast, because we've kind of have been working on that mass consciousness now for over a year, where the majority of the people on the earth are thinking on the same topic. And for 2020, we were really good at it. I like to include my people, include myself with the people on earth. That's why I say we and stuff, though I don't have a human body. And my spirit, where I am, in the dimension that I am in, it feeds off of the choices that you make, and you feed off of the choices that we make. It's what's that word when you both do it? Harmonious, serendipitous. It's not serendipitous. Symbiotic. It's symbiotic. That's my friend Genevieve on the other side of the camera. She's holding space for us so that we can do this today. And so we and you are symbiotic. So I like to put myself in there. And so in 2020, you got that mass consciousness where you were thinking all about the illness and survival, and then mass on earth. You were thinking happiness, and you were thinking, how can I have a better quality of life? Majority of people were going through that all at once. And when we do that and we get on the same frequency, it doesn't just vibrate like a notch up. When we think of mathematics, 1 + 1 = 2. 2 + 2 = 4. But when we do it in frequency terms, that doesn't work. It's like this compounding thing. We get 1 and 1 and it equals 4. We get 2 + 2, and it equals 8 or 16. It just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And so mass consciousness, when we're all together and we're all thinking of the same thing, the frequency gets very, very abundant. With that abundant energy of focusing on the quality of life, and this new photonic light coming in that we haven't seen on Earth in a long, long time, which June is just going to give us, then we're going to be taking that combo and going, I'm going to be looking at a spiritual path. And right now, when I say spiritual path, I don't mean to leave out religion. And I don't mean to separate and kind of label one thing versus nothing, something and nothing. What I want to say when I say a spiritual path is that it is kind of when you look at yourself as a priority and you take care of all the things that you need, and then you do it so well that you have extra to give to your neighbor, to give to the plant. And that it's not so egocentric that all you can get to is the I, but it's that you love the I so much in a healthy way that it's big enough to share easily and freely, which means that you're very good at receiving as well. When we become leaders in spirituality, it's not just about the giving of the information. Here's the energy, here's the knowledge, here's the experience. It's the I receive your energy, knowledge, and experience as well. And that's what I mean by spiritual path, and that's this fork that's coming off. So May was really rattling it. June was like, okay, now you're getting the energy that you were looking for. So here are some things that I'm going to suggest, because I can't tell you what to do, but I'm going to suggest that you do this for June. And this is number 1, call to action. Slow down. You have to slow down. And when I mean slow down, I mean it in 2 ways. When you're in something, take a breath and actually slow down. Slow down your speech. Slow down your listening. and acknowledge, oh, I didn't catch that. What was that? Because a lot of times I watch you in conversation and you hear something and you go, and you didn't know what was being said. You just made a noise and walked away. And so I would like for you to slow down and go, oh, I didn't hear you. Could you tell me again? And acknowledge that it was important. If somebody is putting it out there, it's important to them. And if it was meant for you to receive, be there. Admit that you did or that you didn't. The other way that I mean to slow down is don't overbook yourself. Like, look at what you're planning and just cut it in half. So 2 months ago, I told Jamie, June, July, you need to take off your readings for June and July because you're going to work on a book, but it's time. You have to do these 2 months. So she gratefully listened, and now she's cleared her plate for this June, and she has no idea about this until she listens to and watches the recording to edit it. But this was my great plan. And to clear up June so that when you get the extra light frequency that's coming in, that you can use it, and you'll be called for to really use it in a self-serving, non-egocentric, spiritual way. And with that, you're going to be getting these downloads of old, ancient information that has, obviously I said ancient, it's been around a really long time, but a lot of people have been asleep for a really long time. And now you're waking up. And with the wake up, it's not just about the spiritual path, it's about finding your community. So if you don't have a lot on your calendar, those opportunities for growth, those opportunities to say, yes, I would like to go with you and look at that because I don't have anything to do this afternoon, or I don't have anything to do 3 afternoons from today, and I'm free. But normally, your schedule would be so backed up, you'd say, I can't make it. And then you're still in this rut where your heart has this, I'm being very pure and open, and your head is like, I'm having this big enlightenment, and your body's like, but I can't move. So let's lighten the calendar for June. That's my call to action. So it's go slow down, lighten your calendar. The second call to action, and the last one, is pretty much to I want to say yes, but it's to see others, because with this extra energy that's coming, and we've put aside a lot of our disagreements, that we're going to collect our tribe. People are going to show up and you're going to say, where have you been? How come I've never met you? What do you mean you live 2 blocks away? I've been waiting all my life for this. These could be love connections, but it's definitely community connections of like-mindedness. And the conversations are going to flow a lot freer, where you're sharing about your heart's desires and your spiritual abilities and and your sixth sense and how you use it. Things that you would say that's very woo-woo. In June, it's coming true. So it's not woo-woo anymore. It's going to be a commonplace topic. And all these light bulbs are turning on to collect in a community. We did a lot of private work for 1.5 years. And now communities are coming together. So whenever there's a fork in the road, and you have this choice, and you decide to take on these actions, and you have this extra found time because you went slow and because you're not overly booked, and you have this extra energy because this photonic energy is coming to Earth. It's just going to feed our inner plant to get really, really strong. You're going to be presented with a lot of choices, other choices than just this. And this is where you're going to have to go, okay, I didn't know I wanted to do this, and now I know. Let's say if you were a stay-at-home dad and now you want to grow mushrooms. Let's say you always lived in the city and now you want to move to the country. And you were like, I never thought I was a country person. I like the city, the hustle and the bustle. But all of a sudden you're recognizing you're changing. Don't worry, there's people out in the country going, I really want to live in the city. So we're all going to balance each other, but we're making a big shift. And we're waking up and realizing we want something a little different than what we have. And June can provide for those big surprises like that. And I want you to have room to enjoy it. It's not a scary time. May was the scary time. June is like the happy time. So when we look at June's energy, it's a burst. And it's definitely more higher vibrational alignment and more community alignment. So when we're looking at the chakra system in the human body, the chakra that's going to be kind of challenged the most is going to be the solar plexus. Because the solar plexus has been trained for a really long time. I know you haven't been alive for a century or so, but for that much time it's been feeding human to be individualistic and to be all about the I in an egocentric way. And so it's really developed a strong identity of my personality and who I am defines me, when that's not true. What defines you is your present moment. But we're not truly in the present moment yet. So we still have some dangling pieces. And so it's going to be challenged in June because opportunity will unfold and it'll say, oh my gosh, you have been thinking about living in the country. And we just found 3 people, one who owns land, who wants to sell it, one who, and they're basically delivering it to you. Delivering it to you. And you have to go, I'm observing this and I'm present and this is telling me what I really want to do and what I really want. And sometimes the solar plexus will come out with like its boxing gloves and be like, that's not who we are. We have to fight to get what we want. We have to persevere and put our heads down and really get dirty. No, you don't. You're going to find a whole new way. So it's going to be challenged because it's going to want to remember from all the training that it's done before, how and what you do, like what you have to do to get end results. It's not going to be the same anymore. The solar plexus is yellow and it's located up under your ribs, and it deals a lot with knowledge, personality, and characteristics. And so June is going to challenge those things. So just be aware of it and stay on top of it. A stone I really like to carry for the solar plexus, especially with this kind of challenge, is amber. It's actually not really a stone, it's a resin. And the reason I would pair amber for June is amber takes a long time to create. The solidification of the resin takes a long time. It's almost like petrified wood, almost. So that slowness is also the rhythm I want for June, so I think that's a perfect pair. And it's a golden yellow, and it does a lot of protection, which is something that you'll need in June because twofold reasons. One is, I know a lot of people think, okay, I need protection because something out there is not vibing with me and I have to protect myself. But it's not even that. It's also a protection against yourself. So you're used to maybe if 5 people are standing around you and they're all talking about the same thing and they're all agreeing on it, but you disagree, there's something in you that will go, I'll join them. I'll drop it. Okay. And then you get in and you agree with them. And so it's like you need protection from that aspect where you say, it's okay that I believe in what I believe and that I do what I do and that I hold the vibrations that I hold. And I don't have to shift, change, morph, or let go to be accepted by that community because June is going to help you bring in new tribe members. The chakra that is going to be supported the most, I would have to say, is It's like, I'm going to put 2 in there because it's kind of like a tie. I would say the heart chakra is going to be supported and the throat chakra is going to be supported. These 2 here, the green heart chakra is on the sternum, and the blue, sky blue throat chakra is here in the soft spot. When you push it, it feels weird. And those 2, the feelings and the emotions, and especially the unconditional love and connection, and the throat with the communication and the words and the vulnerability, we push those together. June is saying, yes, come forth with your heart, and yes, it's safe to share what you're doing and who you are. And because you're doing that, you're going to be collecting the other people who are interested in the same vibrations. And so these are going to be a little bit more lively, which means you might find yourself talking a lot about how you feel. For some of you, that could be new. So just buckle in and get comfortable, because you're going to be talking about how you feel. And then another thing that it does is you get to ask questions. So for some of you who are more mind-oriented, where you're like, I'm not going to join that conversation because I don't know enough and I don't want to seem stupid, or I'm just a little person and I don't know so much, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm ignorant, or whatever the words are. Like, this is going to be kind of pushed aside, and you're going to be supported to speak up and go, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'd like to understand. Can you show me? Can you teach me? I'm curious. You'll be supported to say, I'm curious, and this is how I feel. And oh my gosh, when that happens, when we talk about having opportunity and choices, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. The chakra that's going to be needed the most for June, we're going up, uppers. It's the crown chakra. The crown chakra sits on top of the head. It's actually not in the physical body. It sits on top. Not like this, but up here. And so it's a chakra that you have. Chakra is a word, it's a Sanskrit word. It means wheel of light, and it spins. And your chakra, the wheel of light, is the size of a golf ball. And the purple one, the violet one on top of your head, is the first energy vibrations that the first chakra vibrations outside of the body that are higher. You have other ones that are in your energetic body, way, way up high. So your body doesn't really make this one, but your energy body does. Anyways, I just thought it was very interesting. But this is the one that's going to be needed the most. This is the one that says, okay, you've read this book and you really like some of the concepts. You know, when you read spiritual books, or like when you see a speech, or maybe you've listened to something by like Martin Luther King, or Brene Brown, or listened to a poem by Maya Angelou, or read Shakespeare and something just really moved you and you were like, I want to be that. I want to resonate like that. I desire this. And it inspires you to make changes and actions in your life. Crown chakra. Crown chakra says to all the other vibrations in the body, hey down there, you want to be higher vibration? I'll help you. So if you keep that really clean and aligned, then it's going to help you soar through June with ease. Because then you're not looking at it through a red root chakra energy, which would mean like I'm looking at how I'm not grounded or how I am grounded. Do I have enough or not enough? You know, do I like that? Do I not like that? Red really likes a duality and a struggle. So if you keep the purple chakra kind of more focused and in balance, it will help all the other vibrations in the body raise. And when you pay attention to the purple chakra, it helps you stay in the conscious moment, and it helps you make the decisions right from where you are and not from who you were yesterday. And that's going to be very important for June. if those of you who are riding the evolution waves, you've made changes, you've made great strides in your life, you live differently, whichever way it is, you think differently, you feel differently, you're going to really expand on it in this month. So a crystal that I really like for the crown, an obvious one is amethyst. It's a very easy one. It's a good one. You can keep it on your body at all times. I like putting amethyst around the corners of your bed, and we'll be talking about bed gridding in a second. But you could also use lepidolite. It's very pretty as well in a purple hue. And then I would get it with azurite. Azurite has a blue for the throat and this turquoisey and green color for the heart, and your amber. I could do amethyst, azurite, amber, and then I would put that together and kind of carry it, but I really wouldn't put amber around the bed. So for your bed gridding for the month, if you're following along with that call to action, I would get black tourmaline for every corner of the bed. I would, in June, because we're having the abundant amount of photonic light coming in from the beyond that we haven't really experienced on Earth for a really long time, I would get some clear quartz with terminations. A termination is a point. So it looks like a little roof on the crystal. And I would put the points facing the center of the bed and the blunt ends facing out away from the bed. That way, when the energy comes in, the crystals that are bundled together will communicate, and that quartz that has the point on it will push the energy towards the middle of the bed where you're sleeping, and it amplifies it. Clear quartz are amplifiers. So we have our black tourmaline, we have our clear quartz, we have our amethyst for our crown chakra. Again, that's going to be stay consciously focused and raising vibrations. Amethyst is also very good for sleep. And then if you can find some small pieces of azurite, I would put those around the bed, or you can actually use turquoise. That bright turquoise, people use it in jewelry all the time. That would work really well for the throat and the heart communication. And then I would use a lime chrysoprase. And it looks like it's glowing. It's a stone, and it's all about just pure happiness. It's just pure happy in a stone. Even when you look at it, you go, that's pretty. It kind of looks like candy, but don't eat it. I would use that around the bed. And that would help those chakras that are working really hard for you for this month and keep you a little bit more balanced so that you can feel that divide a little bit more of what you're leaving behind. You're gaining so much in June. You'll consciously go, wow, I just felt myself make a shift. You'll consciously say that. You'll just go, I am different than what I was 5 seconds ago. Huh. And you just keep moving on because you're human and it's beautiful. I really want to give a big thanks to all the Luminaires who are taking care of the earth and sending energy to her as she's making this big, great transition with us. If you're feeling a little untethered in June because of all this great abundance of energy, please take the time to push energy towards the center of the earth. That'll ground you a bit more. You can pull in energy from your head and just imagine it raining down through your body and then pushing into your feet. So you would do that, I would say minimum 3 minutes, but as long as you want, 30 minutes, an hour, as long as you can focus just light coming in through the top of your head and raining down and going to your feet, it's perfect. But then after that, practice the receiving, because that was a giving thing. Now the receiving thing is you turn the faucet the other way and you allow the earth to give back to you. So you will then take willingly open feet, receive the energy from the feet, have it rain up, and then go out into the ethers and all around into the atmosphere. It's still protecting her and you, But try on the balance of energy. If you're only doing one technique, like I'm giving or I'm grounding, and you're not practicing the receiving part of it, June is going to go, we need you to be more balanced. And she's going to give you the lesson of receiving. In a summary, which often people call it a nutshell, and I don't know why. In a nutshell, June's energy, lots of new energy from the galactics and beyond coming to you. So for those of you who are more aligned for multidimensional beings, which I have several friends who are that way, that will come with more ancestral and old knowledge coming forward, and you identifying, oh, I could be doing X, Y, Z, I could be doing this, and it would work better than what I've been taught to do. So that's a lot of growth right there, knowledge and information. And that there's more of a separation in the vibrations, and community is happening in June. You're going to be feeling more and speaking up more. You're going to be feeling better and stronger. There is a sense of hope that comes with June. And I think what's interesting also is there's like 5 planets in retrograde starting in June. And a lot of them are going to stick and stay, and there's going to be a bigger transition in October. So you're looking at the first bookend of a phase that's going to kind of complete itself in mid-October. So think of this time as a nest. And in this nest, from June to October, it's collecting tribes, downloading this new incredible information, and making choices and living the life that you want to live. And then in October, you're going to kind of see, you'll be able to come up and look around the world and see globally the choices that are being made because of that. I just want to say that I'm very grateful that I get to do this and bring the information directly in. I like doing the energy update because it's straight from the spirit's mouth. That's why. So I'll see you next month for the energy update, and maybe I'll see you over on Learn It Live, where we do trance channelings and we take questions from the audience. I'll see you later, alligators. I'll see you soon, baboon. I'm going to blank. There's so much out there that you can learn about energy, but then when people hear it, they just go numb. After they listen to it, they're like, oh, I really like listening to it, and they numb out, and they don't even do it.
The retaining the information?
Yes, retaining the information is like too much.
Well, I think that you give nice, short and sweet nuggets that can be applied.
I mean, Earth is going through so many changes. The space between where we are and you are just gets thinner and thinner and thinner. Like all of the months ahead of us is just making that happen. But we're going to get leaders that are ready to do this kind of work. You know, we're getting just complete shifts. You know, I'd like to use the word upgrade, but then it's just like people hang on the upgrade, being better, being bigger, having more, and it's just not true. That's not what we're asking for. We're asking you to be conscious, and we're asking you to, use your bigger bandwidth of energy that you're going to be getting. You're getting, especially in June. We remember in May where it felt like, oh my gosh, timelines were so swirly.
Yes.
Like, am I here? Am I there? What's happening? This, that short. Things were layered, and it was like, oh. Okay, so June is going to continue to do that, but not in a freak out way. This is like, okay, you've gone through that tear in the fabric a little bit, which is super uncomfortable. It's almost like every time you're doing something new, it's uncomfortable. You're like, I've never done this before. I don't know what I'm doing. And then now when June is giving you all the extra energy, it's like you get these mind vacations or these mind trips where you're linking over to another time frame and you're seeing it play out, but it doesn't frazzle you from where you are presently.
Yeah.
It just adds on rather than tears your attention.
Yeah, it just folds into your time.
Yes. It makes it stronger. It's like now you know how to use the tool.
Wow.
And it's not going to be so... And it's because this photonic energy, you're going to love it. You're going to love
it. I have a question about that.
It's just going to make you breathe bigger. And then the bandwidth of the vibrations that you're able to hold now as a human, it's just going to go poof and get bigger.
Oh my gosh.
And when you can hold bigger vibrations without falling apart or tearing up, you're going to be having a lot more space to learn more and know more.
Mm-hmm. And
all that ancestral information, all the loops we've had with like, what's that place? Atlantis.
Mm-hmm.
And
Luminaire.
And all the things that they learned in the crystal healing and the power of the earth and all of that, which sounds like a science fiction movie. Like, science is going to start supporting it.
Yeah.
And going, guess what? Guess what humming does for you? Humming cures cancer. They've already proven that. It helps alleviate and gets rid of tumors.
Yeah.
Humming.
It's incredible.
And singing. There's more power in us than you know.
Oh, absolutely. I believe that. Exciting.
Yeah, the really strong growth was 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And then June, February, March, March was a little bit like April, so late.
Mm.
And then May was like, oh,
yeah,
those unforgotten things, here they are.
Yeah.
Those things you put behind your back you didn't want to see anymore, I'm going to give them back to you. And now June is like, okay, you've looked at it, whether you wanted to or not. But this new light and energy that is coming in, it's like the perfect frequency for people to grow.
Okay.
It's not like a plant in too harsh of a sun.
Yeah.
Where it burns
and
it hurts to grow.
Yeah.
It's like that perfect kind of warm light and the dose that you need.
Yeah.
And you just go, you come out of it and you go, I had no idea.
And it's sort of, even though we all have we vibrate differently or have different frequencies going on, it's sort of adapting to each and every one of us in its own way.
Because humans are in a certain bandwidth. And so even though you have different personalities and needs, and you work frequencies differently, that bandwidth is what's being affected. Okay. So when the new light comes in, it goes, ooh, it stretches it.
That sits well in my brain. I understand what you're saying. Thank you.
You're welcome. You have to go play now.